And we're live. Good afternoon, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty. And today, because it's one of those situations where we ordered only two of this because literally nobody asked for it. It turns out people did want it. I'm reading one that is technically for somebody else, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. And the reason why I'm reading it is not just get sold out, and it's nice to get it in there before they disappear. It's because it's one that a lot of people have been talking about. The Turtles, much like the Power Rangers, have been having a little bit of a resurgence in comic book fields at the moment. It's not to say that we're getting lots of people asking for them, but I follow not just what happens in my store. I also pay attention to big developments around the industry overall. And since the introduction of a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Jennifer, if I remember correctly, there has been way more of an interest in the Turtles. And that's a good thing, because I'm a big fan of the Turtles. And I don't mean huge, oh my god, I've got all their stuff, but I grew up watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I quite liked most of the movies I've seen. Some of the TV series are absolutely brilliant, some not so much. Even quite enjoyed the last two movies, first one more than the second. And I had a lot of the toys when I was a kid. And that's not to say that my entire reason for liking it is nostalgia, because I also used to really like the Mask toys and cartoons when I was a kid. And I tried watching the TV series, sorry, not the TV series, the old TV series of that one a while ago. They're all on YouTube, and it's terrible. And I tried reading the comic book for that one, and wow, it's bad. So it's not just because I liked it when I was a kid, so that makes it cool. I've always had an interest in the turtle stuff. It's never like getting all the comic books or watching everything, but if there's a new thing come out, I'll stick my head in, check what's going on. So that's where I approached this one. And I've got to say, very early on, I was thinking, maybe not for you. I'll show you some artwork here. And you might disagree or agree that I'm not opening it really wide because this is forcing us. But you can see that's kind of just basic cityscape. There's nothing really, I can't really show you anything else. I'm going to show all the artwork, but I don't have damages. It's kind of basic. Look at a city. It's all very simplistic lines. And see, there's quite a nice cyberpunk feel throughout all of it. The fact that the city just looks kind of blocky and normal and vague, it's disappointing. And I was thinking, oh, well, never mind. But the writing was good enough, so I carried on reading it. And they do a nice trick where you don't know who the last Ronin is. They don't tell you who is this last surviving turtle. The other turtles are speaking to him, but they're clearly dead and just there in his head. You get little shades of them behind, because he's wearing a black bandana or a black eye mask. The rest of them don't have any colours at all. They're just faded out and grey. So you spend most of it not realising who it is. I'm trying to snatch details, like remembering which weapons each one was using. But he's got not only all the weapons, he also has Tonfa, which is a new one for me. I didn't know any of them carried Tonfa. And I was really getting into it. And then you got some absolutely astounding fight scenes. Again, I'm going to try and show you this one without damaging the book. But look at that. I mean, that entire page is great. It's full of action. It's really nice motion. The page drags your eyes around it, so you're following it like it's a thing in motion, even though it's a series of single images. And it works really effectively, really good. And then you realize, the artwork is kind of perfect for what it is, because the big picture stuff doesn't really matter. This is a very small, self-contained story about one individual. And they've got their reason in what they're doing, and they throw a lot of kind of backstory at me, with some foreshadowing even. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter that I don't know 100% who these people are. I've got to say, as long as you just know, oh yeah, there's some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anything else you can just pick up and run with, who the Foot Clan are. You don't need all the details. They're there, and he had brothers and a father, and they're ninjas. You don't really need to know anything else. And even then, it tells you that kind of stuff is in there. But it doesn't feed you information. It's not exposition. It's all just part of the narrative. And the narrative is brilliant as well, because an awful lot of it happens internally. And like I said, he's imagining that three of the turtles are talking to him. But for the most part, because that's not really happening, it feels very noir, very Chinatown, kind of internal monologue, even though it's not just one voice. And they handle that very effectively. Now, Kevin Eastman is actually involved in this, but for the most part, he's mainly doing layouts and kind of you get the impression he's guiding the overarching story rather than doing all the day-to-day kind of working it all out. So you can see a lot of his influence in there. But for the most part, he's just let a creative team go to town, and the voice that comes out is a lot different, and the art style, although again, it doesn't grab me straight away, the level of detail you get later on when they use facial expressions and the technology and where people are and how bodies move in a fight, it's genuinely sublime. I absolutely love it, and I'm kind of annoyed it's sold out because I wish I could grab it for myself. It's a 5-part mini, and the big chunky comic books. And before I leave it, I'm going to leave one last thing. It is bigger than a normal comic book, and I was thinking, oh my god, it's one of the DC Black Label things. Yes, it won't fit in a current bag with board, but it at least fits in the boxes. It's only slightly bigger. Well done, IDW. You win. That's it for me. There's not really much brand new and shiny else coming out this week. There's a couple I'm definitely paying attention to. Giga being probably the next big one. But you might not get as many reviews, or if you do get some reviews, there might be slightly unusual things getting reviewed. But if you like what we do, hit the subscribe button and tell people about us. Share it. Let people know that I ramble into a camera for 5.5 minutes. Speaking of which, that's my time. I gotta go. Bye.